Ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Con Ulrich,
I'm Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
and we've been bringing you a lot of the PDX Steel Division tournament recently. We're gonna take a break from that real quick, just give you a nice little one-on-one going on the map of Omaha. Isn't that right, Rang?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so what do you have today, actually?
Well, on left hand side in blue, we have H.Robbert as the first Polish armored division, which we've been seeing quite a lot of out of the blue. And on the right hand side, we have Comrade Ivan as the 91st Loftlander division.
Okay, so we know Omaha's got tons and tons of these hedgerows, these tree lines, and things like that. How is that gonna really going to retard the progress of the First Paterna?
Uh, well, the problem with first is a very tank-focused deck, and just by looking at the middle of the map and just how hedgerow and choke pointy it is, it's going to be tough moving tanks through here. While Comrade Ivan, Feldjägers, Ursat's troop and spam, anti-tank guns all over the bloody place.
Mm-hmm.
If he can kind of keep it a bit more closer range with his infantry and support weapons, he should have a good time. But I think for her, it's just going to be about maybe like making a breakthrough with a tank here or yeah. But just looking at his deployment, I'm not really seeing that many tanks. I see like a Stuart and a Crusader AA down south, and then it's just a lot of Polish infantry blokes, just the like regular rifles, and maybe yeah, it's all just regular rifles. A lot of regular rifles. Jesus.
Well, that was a comment I was going to make, is how surprising is it that we actually see a Crusader in the opening call-ins for this match?
It's pretty surprising because you don't really see air units getting brought out immediately. Pretty good choice against Loftlander, especially down south, as it's really just going to be fire support for, you know, knocking out those light AT guns and infantry, because there's not really too much in terms of tanks you have to worry about, unless there's a Stu 42. I'd be worrying about that a little bit, to be honest, because it's a pretty decent tank.
Now, you were talking about the Poles probably have to worry if they get to close range, especially with all these hedgerows back and forth.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of weird to hear that happening. I mean, the 91st Luftwaffe is not exactly known for their early anti-tank guns.
No, but it's just about like in the hedgerows and forests. You got the Panzerschreck teams, the Abra, and
True.
the Panzerfaust on the Feldjägers themselves. And just because this map, especially just mainly in the middle, is so close range, those weapons will be deadly.
Okay, judging how this initial deployment looks, I mean, the Germans are just going to hold in the south and definitely pushing in the north. Poles seem to be very, very, well, desiring very, very much to push in that southern sector.
Oh yeah, that's really gonna be a breakthrough point, it seems. I mean, just looking at the amount of
Oh my
infantry
God.
they have, that is some like 15 Scotch play. The amount of
Yes.
infantry they're going for. My main problem is I feel like he needs more fire support, like a more like a Sexton. Maybe.
This Pack 36 could have just shot down the road and just completely wrecked everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would have been beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be tough getting that Crusader and Stuart like through that choke point, because that's what he needs to do. That's really how he's gonna be winning this engagement. Even just at 150mm mortar is gonna shut things off for now. And just look, that's such a good like killing zone. They're using the smoke to block line of sight.
Oh my God, I wasn't even thinking that.
And then the Feldjägers just open up, as you can see, just completely tearing the Strochkis.
And honestly, with that protective layer of suck-ups, I mean, Airstat's trooping. I mean, the meat shield is working.
Yeah.
And it's working well. Oh my gosh.
This is really good. It's just getting a cheap French tank. It's not great, but there's not much anti-tank you have to worry about from the Polish infantry, so it's just going to sit here, you know, draw some fire, and have a good time.
Indeed. Indeed. Now, I do want to make a quick call out. Germans are just thrashing the Poles initially. Take a look at the northern sector. The Streltsy that's been called out, this Airstat trooping could get on top of it and just force a quick surrender, but even if he doesn't, oh wow, we're also actually going to see Führer Ulig. So Alexander Ulig is in that northern town. I know Ivan runs him occasionally. We have seen him play the 91st before with that.
Yeah.
Let me get back on track here. Actually, you know what? Screw that. Screw being on track. Germans are controlling a good portion of this map already, I feel like.
Yeah, they've just really good play. I think the full-on infantry play hasn't benefited too well. Maybe now, if you look down south, the Stuart Mans are rushing, you know, okay, it did lose its tracks, and in such a like an aggressive moment, you kind of need tracks to be able to move around. But that's gonna at least standardize or set up a bridgehead for the pose down south, as they are now making some progress.
Very, very true. And honestly, I was skeptical of that Crusader, but of course, like you said, that's just going to completely devastate the early 91st position.
And now if they can deal with that Panzer 35, they can just start making some headway down south. And if they can just get past this crossroad area here, this is going to be great, because up north you got a town that's easily accessible, and in the north of that town you got some more open area where Cromwell's and Stuart's prove to be rather effective. So if he can establish this foothold, it's going to be really good for Robert.
Now, I do like the fact that Ivan is bringing on down the Stu 42. He's going to have a beautiful little flank shot. Question is, will he get there in time?
Probably not, but also it doesn't have the anti-tank capability. It's going to be able to knock out the rifles at least, but, you know, it's not going to be able to scare or raid the bigger tanks for now, which is a bit of a shame, and I don't know what to do if I was Comrade Ivan. This is such a huge breakthrough. And yes, Feldjägers are good, but that's just so much Strochkis that you have to contend with. It's just
absolutely true.
So many.
Absolutely true. Well, I mean, obviously, we're not going to see any off-map call-ins. Air power is not going to do enough. I mean, especially that Crusader right there is just going to completely devastate any air power.
Yeah. Yeah. Too bad it doesn't have that 210 off-map artillery, because this would be perfect time to get one of those guys out during a.
You mean the confetti machine?
No, the 210mm.
Okay, I'm sorry. For some reason, I heard the 210 like point. I guess my mind made a very, very strange connection there.
You just want a party.
You know what? I do want an arty party. I'm sorry.
An arty party. I love an arty party too, Khan. No need to be ashamed.
Well, when we're recording this, I mean, we're pretty close to New Year's Eve right now, so.
Yeah, you'll be seeing this after New Year's. So yeah,
happy 2018, guys.
Yeah, we're recording this from the past, guys. This was done a year ago.
And gals.
And gals.
Lest we forget.
Yeah.
So you're right. Stu 42 is going to get forced on back. Trading fire with that Stuart is not going to go very well.
Nah, I mean, it doesn't have any armor penetration ammo for the Stu 42, so. I mean, you can scare Stuart, but it's not going to fall back because it literally can't fall back.
True. This is absolutely true. Now, anti-tank gun is coming on and going for a rather aggressive position. And in fact, not even a good position now that I see it, because he's going to be behind absolutely everything. And that Crusader, Crusader doesn't see much either. So this is a very strange position.
I bet that 6-pounder is just to get the Stu. That's
by the way, Stuart went down.
Oh, did he?
Panzer 35, I think, took the shot on that one. I looked back to see the German reinforcements, and I came back and it was boiling.
Okay, it's probably the Panzer 35. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay, that's not good then. That's no bueno for the Poles.
No, that was really the only anti-tank tank that I had down south. If they have the 6-pounder, it's going to be forcing the 35R to retreat. But if they can knock out that Stu, that's really gonna pretty much relieve some pressure off them, because that Stu. Now, because there's no raw anti-tank to deal with it at the moment, is going to be cutting off his supply line until that Stuart can come in.
True. So the question is, will the Poles take the pole position?
I was waiting for that joke.
Again, for like 5 casts.
I know.
I'm trying to think how to bring that on in.
I don't know.
Pack 36 in the meantime, by the way, does take out that Cromwell from a side shot. Beautiful little number right there. And Ivan he does not want to give up any territory. I have to really tip my hat to him at this point.
It's really just dealing with the tanks that the Poles have. Oh, he's got the B3! Oh, wow! This is going to work wonders. There we go.
That's one.
Gets the Stuart. The Crusader's going to be able... The Crusader's going to run it. Oh, no.
No, Hurricane. No. That B3's not making it out.
And that is the problem of... getting a B3 for Luftlander. He spent 3 minutes saving for that plane. And it gets killed very easily because you don't have any AA in A phase as Luftlander. And your only other fighter is 180 points. So...
oops.
Yeah. It's a risky maneuver. Against Pose, in hindsight, probably not the best one, as those Hurricanes are cheap as chips. and it's easy to bring one out.
Stu just went
Yeah.
down, by the way. It wasn't the 6-pounder, I don't think.
Uh, it might
Might have
have.
been.
It might have been just barely, I think.
And Crusader, by the way, moving up to the front, he has absolutely no ammo to fire.
Yep, that's a good problem actually. If you ran out of ammo, it means a lot of people probably died because you shot a lot.
True, especially with those sextuple
I think
20
it's
mils.
just. Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah. It's a try.
Oh, this is the upgun. Oh no, you're right. Try. I was thinking
Yeah.
sextuple, but
I,
no, this is the upgun Crusader.
yeah, I was thinking it was the double-barreled one, but
No, that actually was a closed-in turret, which is a nice difference. I don't want to be in an anti-air platform. There's absolutely no turret whatsoever.
yeah. I mean, getting strafed by an airplane, I don't think is really high in my agenda.
Especially not a B3 anyway.
Yeah, especially I would not want to be shot anywhere by B3. To be honest, that would not be nice.
True. Universal Carrier moving on with the Bren to the north. We see a couple of very, very brave Airsats trooper. Do
Yeah.
not know why he's rushing them in against the Cromwell.
Well, he's only going to lose 20 points at least, which is acceptable. And look, they're just standing right here in front of the Cromwell. Maybe I hope if they don't move, the Cromwell won't shoot it.
I don't know, looking at their morale, I don't think it's going to be a very good hope.
Yeah, the Cromwell's just going to be firing at the Panther 35R at the distance. And yeah, now he's going to turn and try to kill the Airsats troop. And zooming in really close, this looks absolutely ridiculous. You got a bunch of guys
Too late.
in the middle of the road.
Surrenders. By the time I got there, they were waving the white flag.
Yeah.
You would have thought they were French. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. to our French viewers out there,
You just need to run away from that joke.
je suis désolé. Isn't that I'm sorry? I'm pretty sure it's I'm sorry. I might be wrong.
I live in Canada and I don't know how to speak French.
Well, you're not Quebecois, though, are you?
No, but in Ontario, it's a funny thing in Ontario actually. Most products are bilingual. So if you buy like a video game, for example, it'll be an English title and then usually a French title. Well, not a French title, but like an English summary and then a French summary on the back. Or most products that you buy.
So, to be fair, if you do that in the U.S., you still might get something with Mandarin on it or
Spanish.
True, that too.
Yeah. All depends where you live.
Very, very true. I mean, I'm in New Jersey, so anybody who lives in New Jersey, you know what I'm talking about.
Live in the Jersey Shore life.
Oh God, no. Nowhere near the shore. I'm not. You know what? We don't have time for that right now. that's an off the cast kind of conversation. Opal Blitz coming in with some artillery. It's a good call, I would say, from the 91st, trying to establish some sort of gun line. They have taken out pretty much all the offending equipment down here to the south from the poles.
Yeah, it's going to be getting out Russian's this free gun to try and knock some of these Polish units out. If he can knock out the 6-pounder, yeah, definitely help out. And now, because there's not really much in terms of armor here, the Feldjägers and Ersatz Truppen are just going to mop up the floor of the Polish infantry.
Very, very true. And actually, thinking about this too, looking at the anti-air platforms, they have no ammo, which means that B3, if we bring another B3 on in, it's going to be absolutely brutal.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're on to B phase now. We got a supply truck coming in up north to resupply at Crusader AA and
good call. I hadn't even realized that.
And yeah, really, it's really just been all about this southern play. The Germans managed to hold on to their little town fortifications across the rest of the map, but the Poles are just on that slight +1 point advantage.
Yeah, kind of strange when you look at it. You would not expect so much as to only be 1%.
Yeah, I think it's like those few bulges in between the Polish line, especially like a southern middle area with that one Ersatz troop in. That's probably a good a good 1-2% of the map, right? Yeah.
Probably right. And honestly, with the Germans bringing in more infantry, the Poles trying to rush in some more by themselves. Never mind, they're making another push down here to the south. And actually an M3 coming in as well, okay. So just to see is the M3 just analogous to an M20 command car?
No, it's just a M3 half track of our machine gun. But the M3 scout car, not half track.
Right.
But you do have a Cromwell, and that does 2 machine guns and a big gun. And he really does need to try and hold on to his crossroads at least, because if he loses his crossroads, he's back into choke point Forest Hell. And you don't want to be in choke point Forest Hell.
Especially not against paratroopers.
No, especially not against like Feldjägers and 91st Luftlandr in general. It does have Ronstrojki behind enemy line show.
Yes, actually, I was going
Yeah,
to wonder if you're going to call that out. That guy is just waiting there. He's given a lot of intel. I don't see him doing a whole lot,
yeah.
but
Just
whatever.
wait for the right moment and maybe try and flank an artillery piece.
True. True, I hadn't even thought about that. But we see ME-109 takes out, oh my gosh, what was that model? It was a
Hurricane.
B-47, wasn't it?
I think it was a hurricane.
Okay, either way, Poles do lose a plane,
Yep.
and the Pioneers moving on in. These guys with their charges are going to do a hefty amount of damage if they get
Yep.
close enough, of course.
And yeah, really, it's just not much here in terms of like momentum down south for the Poles, and they're not going to be losing it. It seems like Robert's going to be focusing more on this middle area of the map now, sending some infantry over there to clear things up.
Well,
And
I do like we have this small kind of call quick. Oh, never mind. I said we have a QRF between the Germans there, but they just dropped on
mhm,
out two squads of Ersatz Truppen and Pioneers.
yeah,
And that cannon is doing work, son.
yeah, that's just a real. It's a really easy choke point once you capture this crossroads as the Germans, as you can just shoot down that road. And for Robert, he needs to get his tanks up, so he has to go down the road, meaning not the best position to attack.
He's bringing in four more squads in the supply truck.
Yep.
Are we starting to go into we're tunneling a little bit on this area?
Uh, a little bit. It's just I know he. The problem with this map is it's very hard to take advantage of the tank play from the Poles. He is getting an off-map unit down south to try and clear things up, and a lot of infantry. So I think he's going to try and
Wait
do
a second.
another attack down south. But hopefully, if he can get a good off-map down, he should be able to take it back. Should.
That does seem like a pretty big assumption though too. We're also going to see a Martyr being brought on and a Martyr 2 for that matter. So that's
Yeah,
a good anti-tank platform.
yeah.
And the Germans continue to increase their hold. Actually, that little Jeep recon unit is completely gone. So while there's a massive, massive buildup in the south, and some more reinforcements being rushed to the center part of the map, I can't help but feel that the poles are starting to melt a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. It's just it's a lot of bloodshed down south. It really is just going to come down to if he can retake his position now. If not, the Germans going to be able to fortify, and yeah, and it's just going to be a huge pain in the butt to attack. And yeah, no, I'd try and be thinking about attacking up north or in the middle instead of this southern position. But even just a one artillery piece, the FK-39,
Hmm.
is just absolute choke points as you can see. And already two of the four squads are getting pinned down, and the tanks aren't going to be moving up, which is going to give that Mortar 2 time to set up shop. And yeah, he's going to have a real clear sight down that road with that Mortar 2.
Kind of interesting to me that really on the poles, where it's nice and chilly, we see lots and lots of blue. In the
Hmm.
middle, it's looking a little more warm, I would say.
Yeah, it's a bit red in the mid. We got some got a forecast of Strelch keys moving through in the storm front.
Ooh,
But
but there's such trooping.
yeah,
Ooh.
that's trooping. I think maybe like a Stuart just punksing through the mid, try to make a play through there now. Because looking down south, I mean that Mortar 2 is in position. The Cromwell is going to be moving around instead of going right down the road, which is the best course of action. That's going to be able to flank around a little bit. So there we go. If he can just get his tanks in good fire support positions, Robert will have a good time. But as you can see right now, his infantry completely unsupported, and they're just getting completely destroyed.
Thinking about this, by the way, as well, we are going to see a Crusader Mark II in the center part of the map. That is the one with the whole,
Yeah,
at least quasi-turret, if nothing else.
yeah.
Feldkanon, by the way, is what you mentioned, the FK-39. He's running almost out of ammunition, so we're probably going to see munitions truck coming in from the Germans. You don't want to let that go to waste.
Exactly, exactly. And
Firefly coming in too.
oh wow. I don't. Okay, I can see where you can want to get a Firefly to counter out Mortar 2, but I don't know. I think maybe I really think a section would be a much better idea because he just needs to start uprooting the German positions for a bit of indirect fire support instead of this Firefly. Because Firefly is going to be able to knock out Mortar 2 if he manages to get the first shot kill, but after that, it's just kind of useless in this southern like infantry fight.
Okay, I do have to call out. There's a Fallschirmjäger right to the east of those three Streltsy squads. He
Yep.
only
Oh yeah.
has Panzerfausts left. First of all, if he gets out and gets a kill on this tank, this is like some real Battle of Berlin kind of stuff
And
here.
then if he could have surrendered the twos without like
Oh
having
my
any
god, he's going in,
bullets.
he's going in.
Oh god.
Here goes a
Oh god.
Cromwell. Aligning. Fire!
Oh, how could you
Oh!
miss? You have
Guys, we
to.
got a 40-ton tank.
I mean, you have like what, a year's worth of training to miss at 150 meters. Come on, mate. Imagine if he got the kill. You know,
Okay, to be fair, it is a Panzerfaust 60, so technically, it was accurate up to 60 meters.
Okay, there we go. Technically, you know.
Technically. I mean, it was effective up to way the heck more than that. I mean, it's taking 150 meters here, but I mean,
Yeah.
technically.
I believe also you could just kind of like run up and hit the tank with it, and it'd still be pretty effective because it's just a safe charge, correct?
Shape charge, yes, one
Yeah.
of the first ones in history.
Yep.
You can thank the Germans for that. Very, very interesting. Ooh, and he goes on down. Yeah, you know what? After missing that, you deserve to surrender.
Yeah, I mean, I already have ammo, so I weren't in the best position.
Off to a
either.
gulag with you.
Yep. Well, I don't think the allies are that mean. Well, Western allies, let's go.
I was gonna say.
We don't
You
talk
are
about
aware
the
what language a gulag is, right?
Yeah. We don't talk about the Soviets.
For interesting reasons, of
We're
course.
not on the Eastern Front game yet.
But we're crossing our fingers for it. We were
Yeah.
talking about it before the cast. It'd be a very, very interesting play.
Yeah.
51:49 there, folks, though. We are 1 minute away from Phase C, and Ivan is still lagging behind ever so slightly on this.
He now has that plus 1 point advantage, really just due to capturing a little bit up north and securing down south, stopping that huge Polish push. But I know the rest of the map's been pretty quiet, apart from that huge shoving attack from the Poles, and they're still holding on to the crossroads at least, which is really the main advantage for the Poles. But can they take advantage of it and try to move up north and try to clear things up? Because if you look north of the Polish positions, not much, yeah, you know, like an Erzherztruppen in that town, a Pack 50 mil, a Pioneer. I mean, not really not that much to stop him.
True. Absolutely true. Now, we do have to make a quick call out, though, all the way to the north. Now, the Martyr 2 is up there, so he's going to trade firepower with that Cromwell. And he's going to kill that Cromwell, so everything is going to be devastatingly bad, I would say, for the Poles, at least for a little bit of time up there.
Yeah, I have a feeling. Well, okay, we are seeing an attack from the Pioneers, but even if the attack, I don't think it's going to be enough to really gain any major ground unless he devotes some more units for this northern assault.
And I do want to note the bravery of the airplane pilots on both sides. We see ME-109 does go and take out, you're absolutely right, I think there's a hurricane there. Yep. But the crowd of flak that's been putting on out from both sides is a little bit terrifying.
Yeah, both sides getting a pretty decent amount of anti-air. I think Robert's really getting it more for the anti-infantry support. And we are seeing another 2-star Cromwell up in the mid, and at Northern Assault didn't go too well. The Pioneers got pinned down by the Crusader AA.
Ooh, he's getting super close. He wants to kill that Crusader. If that Crusader goes down, I would say the entire northern flank is completely shot. Of course, they're going to see a Firefly coming on in,
so
too.
never mind. Even then, the Crusader could stun up at Mortar 2, I think.
Stun up, yes, but kill? Oh, heck no.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait a second. No, never mind. That's a 12 HE to 3 armor. We could actually see a kill off of that.
Yeah, maybe. Just maybe.
But considering how open that gunner is, if he doesn't get taken out in the first shot, I'm super surprised.
I'm still surprised the Streltsy squad behind enemy lines is alive still. Like, you know, an Erzherztruppen hasn't accidentally run into him yet, so maybe he's going to survive the entirety of the match. Who knows?
I will say that this Martyr 2 is probably going to get taken on out by this Firefly in like 2 shots. Of course, you're going to see fire coming down the lane. Okay, Firefly gets first shot. He's going to get roasted.
Yeah.
Pinned down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd back up too. No, no, no. Back away.
Back away. Run away.
Now, legitimately falling back. There's that pin that you were talking about. And that 140 mil off map, that is all of those have been used, hasn't it? There's been three
I,
artillery
I
barrages.
feel like it's all been used, yeah. Especially if it's been out this long.
True, true. I do also want to kind of make a quick nod again over here to Comrade Ivan. He stabilized the entire southern flank with one artillery piece.
Yeah, yeah. Its indirect fire support has really been helpful quite a bit. Opposed finally getting some proper mortars, and I feel like it really needs artillery earlier on to really take his southern flank. Because really, it's a lot of close corners, a lot of hedgerows. You might as well try to shoot over him instead of trying to shoot through him.
Martyr 2 is going to go down, by the way, in weapon damage. He's in the north. One to the south, a little bit more carefree.
Yep.
And Comrade Ivan has taken the lead here. Not by much.
Not by much, but he's still holding on. His men to regain a little bit of ground in that southern flank, of course, and I know it's sure just been a real bloodshed down south, but I think up north we may be seeing an attack. Yeah, we are. An attack from the Poes as they're trying to get to the next base, and not much here to stop him. We just got our Mr. Ulig and a 37mm pack, but I don't really give it. Could he actually penetrate?
I was just trying to figure that out, actually.
No, he can't. It's facing frontward still. If he is facing the rear of that Sherman, yeah, no, maybe, but no, he cannot.
Oh, no, this could be a beautiful side shot. He could get it. He could get it. It's a low percentage chance. It's a low percentage.
Yeah. I think he's just going to wait for a more clear opening before exposing the door knocker.
Well, this is also the Rakettenwerfer edition as well. I mean, you barely ever see it because no one goes within 500 meters of that position.
It's 300 meters.
No. I mean the Schildgranate 41.
Yeah, it's a
300
meter
oh
range.
my god, you're absolutely right. Oh my
I know
gosh, I'm so sorry.
It's a really terrible range.
Oh my god.
In my entire time like playing this game since release, I maybe seen that thing used twice.
You know, honestly, I thought 500 meters, like, okay, that kind of makes sense.
It makes sense, you know, it's kind of a big thing, but no, like 300 meters, it is extremely short range. You might as well just get a Panzerschreck.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to make the comment following that up, trying to, you know, cover up for my little bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poles make another push to the south, and a resurgent Pole in Phase C. He has not gained maybe as much momentum as he'd like. But what about Comrade Ivan? What can he do?
Well, now the Poles are starting to get tanks, and it's not just any old tanks, it's Shermans, and Shermans have pretty decent armor. And, I mean, he's getting some Stuke 3Gs, and they are the 2-star veteran ones too, so they are going to be a rather tough nut to crack. But I think it's just going to come down to using his artillery effectively. He does have another Russian artillery gun, the bigger one this time. And just as long as he keeps his tanks pinned down, because it is a pretty easy choke point, he should be able to keep the Poles at bay with, and some good Stug 3 and Mortar 2 placement.
I do have to give a little bit of a note that he does still have some Fallschirmjäger, so it's not like he's completely out of all of his solid infantry.
No, and he still has Pioneers probably still, which is going to be perfect in his forest fighting engagements.
True. I guess I am surprised that Robert has not tried to rupture the center.
No, it sort of really would have worked well if he tried to, like, rupture it, like I said before, like a Stuart or two. It's open ground. Whereas there wasn't much here. I mean, it's a Stug 3G and a Pack 50mm here. But this is tank country, Khan. Or somewhat tank country. It's not the best tank country, but in Omaha, you really have to make do with what you got.
True. Oh my gosh, this Panzer 39H is like, what, a couple hundred meters away from that? Yeah, he's actually under 200 meters away from that Sherman OP. He's still not going to do anything to it.
We do have a B3 and Messerschmitt up north. Kills a Firefly.
Ooh, good call. He's not, Mike. Okay, it's going to be depends. Can they stun up that chasing Hurricane? Yes, they can. It goes down.
And that was a smart move. When you get a B3, you always want to have at least a fighter on standby. Or some AA to try and protect it. Preferably a fighter, because those B3s and B1s are shit and ducks, you could say. when it comes to being shot at.
True, true. I mean, we're not talking. I kind of wish they had a German bomber that had legitimate.
Like
Ooh, Stu goes
defense,
down.
yeah, Stu goes down. Yeah.
Yeah, something very similar to the B-26
Yeah,
or
but the
and
Germans didn't really have like bombers like you
not
know.
strategic ones anyway. No.
Yeah, it's all they kind of focus more on those interceptors and trying to bomb the hell out of people. They just try to use rockets instead, and look where I got him.
Another Junker down south is gonna get chased by this hurricane, but I think
The hurricane's slow as hell.
yeah, I was gonna say
Yep.
it's not gonna rock them too much today, so
Nope.
no hurricane
Yep.
rocking today.
Yeah, the Hurricanes are a good plane for the pose, as they're just really cheap and they have 8 HE for 110 points. So when it does get in a fight, it's a pretty good fighter plane, but it can't intercept, and that's the problem. Just because it's so slow at 500 kilometers an hour, you really need to have it on station before the enemy's even called in the plane.
Silly real world question: do you use kilometers or miles up there?
We use kilometers up here in Canada.
Making sure in Celsius over Fahrenheit, right?
We use Celsius.
Okay, we really got to get with the picture, man. We're like the
I
only
know.
people that use imperial anymore.
Yeah, I remember like when you go down south of the border, it gets a little bit wonky because like all our speedometers like kilometers up north, and then um,
You're doing like
you know,
conversions in your head.
I'm doing on the speedometers, the kilometers are on the outer section, and then the miles per hour on the inner section. So when you drive down south, it kind of screws with your head a little bit because you always look at the outer section of the speedometer.
Must go faster. Must go
Must
faster.
must go faster. And you also have to like give Rayo Monopoly money in exchange for American money, which isn't as fun.
Hey, that's true, but you do have pretty pictures on yours. I will.
We
say.
have really pretty pictures, and the plastic money on the Canadian bills, it feels so good in your hands.
True.
It's really easy to separate.
True. Actually, I admit I keep some currency from around the world, and that's definitely one of the things I do have. Is a lot of Canadian currencies.
Yeah, it's also useful considering not too far away
True.
from the
True.
border.
But if the loonie goes down, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it'd be absolutely. I was gonna say absolutely loony, but that's a terrible joke. I apologize.
Yeah, you need to get back with the toonie. For those of you who are completely
thank you
confused
for
what's
the
going
save.
on.
Thank you for the save.
For those of you completely confused what's going on.
We're still casting, I believe.
I think so. I think
I
so.
think
We'll get back
so.
to, okay, so toonie, by the way, a $2 coin. All right, now we're good to go.
Yeah.
Should we get back to this for the
Yeah,
moment?
let's get back. I think there's a lot of shooting. There's been quite a few losses back and forth, and the Germans are starting to lose this southern flank now as all the infantry are getting pinned down.
True, actually, just to make the comment, we are going to see half tracks are going to go down here and there for the poles. We do see some damage, but that Martyr 2 has gone down, and that was a linchpin, I would say, for that German defense.
Guys really meant to hold down the choke point, but with no Mortar 2, the tanks have kind of free reign. Unless you get Panzerschrecked.
No, that was a Pack 38.
Oh, damn.
I was surprised too.
Yeah,
I was surprised too.
It's a good kill, yeah. It's a good kill.
And Firefly to the north has been dead for a while. Crusader gets rearmed, so that is still there. Crusader in the... Oh, no, wait. Crusader in the center is still there, and the one to the south went down a while ago. So I'm trying to figure out where that next B3 could even be sent in.
I have no idea. I mean, it's just so many targets to try and knock out. This has been a really close match. It's been back and forth all over the bloody place. It's been frustratingly close. It's just been one giant meat grinder all over the place. With both sides taking rather big losses. I mean, you just saw Firefly get knocked out down south.
B3 comes back in. I actually missed the Firefly going down. B3 comes in, going after a half track. Not sure why he's given that much attention.
That's
one.
A good question, Khan.
And now he's going after a freaking universal carrier. Bro.
Okay, maybe,
Oh, jeez. Mustang. He's got the speed.
He's got two fighters as well backing him up.
Okay, here's now what you do. You find the Crusader. You dive on it like crazy.
Yeah.
You draw it out. You unmask it. Okay, unmask and kill. Nope, ME-109's going to get chased away.
Okay.
And the B3 is coming down to the south. He wants these half tracks. I'm not sure why he's tunneling on this.
I think he just wants to have some sort of kill. Maybe Okay, in all fairness, he probably just has an itchy trigger finger. I do this too sometimes, where I have a plane like ready to go after it's been repaired and rearmed, and
Hmm.
I just feel like I need to bring it out because if I
True.
don't bring it out, I'm just wasting time. So he probably just thought, hey, I might as well just try to get a kill or two, and in the long run, that's usually not the best thing, especially if such a like costly plane, such that the B3 you really want to reserve it just for knocking out Sherman tanks and whatnot as those are the priority targets. Especially his 91st Luftlander, where your anti-tank game on ground isn't exactly fleek.
True. You're absolutely true, and that's a completely fair thing. I know I've done exactly the same thing myself.
Mm-hmm.
Panzer Shrek team, the middle part of the field, down to half their ammunition, and kind of just wrecking some squads as they come on through.
Yep.
But that Cromwell is going to be a bit of a problem. Never mind, here comes the other B3.
Will they get the kill?
Transmission
No,
damage.
no.
Okay.
It's just
Oh,
like
jeez. Mustang.
there's no. The fighter's not close. The fighter is close enough, but does he have enough fuel?
No, but not to fight off two Mustangs.
Oh god. Yeah, B3 is
B3.
yeah. And then also 2-star Mustangs as well, so
True.
pretty deadly, right? Yeah. Pretty deadly.
Oh, now we're going to see some actually self-propelled Bofors coming on in the north, which means those planes are not going to get any time over target before they get beasted back out.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, the Poles really now have the momentum. They have a lot of ground in middle just because of that one Strotsky squad and, nothing there from the Germans. Even just this one Ersatztruppen just to try and knock that off. But they're putting pressure up middle, which is definitely what they need to be doing. Try to, not tunnel vision down south and try to gain some ground somewhere else. Especially in that middle part, I said before, more tank play with the Cromwell and whatnot. Going to be much more effective, as we are already seeing.
That is true. I would like to see it finally. Okay, that mortar's finally starting to get cracking from the whole side of things. And that is going to wipe out the major, I think, cluster of defense that remains for the Germans.
Yeah. Also just thinking from the Germans, this has been a real meat grinder of the match, and they just kind of ran out of steam. I mean, he's probably lost all his Feldjägers by now, and heck, probably even all his Ersatztruppen. He's been losing them left, right, and centre. And like we're seeing now, he's relying a lot on these Fusiliers, or we're seeing a lot more like much more Fusiliers being used all over the place. So yeah, I just think that's really a main issue here for Comrade Ivan. He doesn't have much infantry.
And I think you're right. I think H.Robbert senses that. He's bringing in another Crusader.
Yep.
The north and down south, oh, just infantry who just hanging on the side of the map. So he's there. He's getting combat experience, sort of.
Well, Robert's real infantry play has just been the Strotsky spam. Haven't seen any motorized Dragoonies. It's really just been Strotskys. Probably like a card of the flamethrower troops, the Saporites, and then probably just a card of the command infantry, and that's it. And like any good old British neck, you get riflemen in absolute spades. And
yes,
that's been working pretty effectively for Robert. He's just been able to out-infantry or just outlast 91st Luftlander, which is a feat on its own, considering Luftlander can get 24 Ersatztruppen, plus other things, such as Pioneers, and Grenadiers, and Feldjägers.
Yeah, so what happened? Why is it that 91st Luftland is running out of infantry? I did not think we've seen that many cards going on down.
I know, I mean, we did see like a few silly things, such as like Russian to Sats against a fully armed and operational Cromwell tank.
True.
But I think just the meat grinder down south really read down on Comrade Ivan, because Robert was just relentless down south, and it's been pretty back and forth, but Robert has never pushed back all the way into that like choke point tail of a road. He's always somewhat meant to hold that crossroad, and just that fight in there has really read down on Ivan, especially, and also like Luftlander doesn't have a lot in terms of like infantry or just unit numbers in general. Like, you don't get many tanks, you don't get many support vehicles, etc. And in a run v run, where you're covering the entire map, you need to be able to have map presence all over, and you need to be able to replace units that you lose. And for Luftlander, they just haven't been able to done that. It's just at the tipping point right now. You know, considering it's only 5 minutes or so left in the match, it's better to lose all your stuff 5 minutes left than, 10 or 15 minutes remaining.
True. We do have to give a nice little shout out. Flak 36, 88 mil up to the north, picked off a couple of tanks already. He's going to get just bombarded out of existence, but the occasional shining light for the Germans.
Yeah, it's been... I mean, just looking at the mini-map too, like, it's much more blue than it is red at the moment.
Yes, well, Furball's going to happen. We still have 2 ME-109s, and we have 2 Mustangs. But the Mustangs are more vetted on up. So here's the question. Can the ME-109s go after 1 Mustang, or is it just going to be 2 duels? Oh, and the ground fire.
Yeah,
I completely didn't think, wasn't
the
thinking
ground
about
fire
that.
didn't actually do that much.
Yeah, true, but he has now one ME-109s is falling back. That's one.
There we go. Gets a crit kill, but he's going to be forced back, and there's another crit kill.
Ooh.
This is like a match of Raw Thunder. Everyone's touching everyone else's tail.
True.
Yeah. With less kills.
Oh man, I haven't played that game in forever.
Same, I haven't played that game in forever either. I mean, I want to play it, but I really hate the business model.
Yeah, I mean, grinding, it's no fun.
I know, I don't have the time for that.
The light tanks were a great time, I will say. Running around the Panzer II, that brought back my love for that vehicle.
Yeah. The American landing craft is so ridiculously broken because it's just so big. Yeah, most of like the areas is dead space. So when you get shot at, it doesn't do anything to like effectively like negate damage your tank. So you could get shot at like 10 times and everything still works because they keep hitting the non-vital points. It's like, yeah, you just skimmed me a little bit. Now let me blow you up. Bang.
We are going to see, by the way, Hurricane takes out the second ME-109, so just barely before he's able to escape as well. And it does look like it's going to be a minor victory over here for H.Robbert. Although that KD, I can't help but feel is going to be devastating.
This has been a really painful match. There's been so much bloodshed and back and forth with not that much ground taken. It's really just been all over the place. Just death and destruction left, right, and center. When usual Fireflies go down, both Stuke 3Gs, the B3's dying. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty intense KD, I'd have to say. But I think Robert just managed to outspam and just outlast Comrade Ivan in this match.
No, let's give credit where credit is due. I mean, H.Robbert had a great strategy early on.
Yeah.
He held just enough troops to the north. He knew the 91st wasn't going to go outside of this town.
Yeah.
And then he just put a huge sledgehammer down to the south.
Yeah, and holding that like southern crossroads area, it's definitely helped out in terms of just map control.
No, I do want to say before we kind of get into the KD and everything that we'll take a look at that in just a second. Of course, we are going to see H.Robbert takes it. Ooh, yeah, lots of death.
Yeah, that's a lot of death and destruction, my dude.
But I was going to say, if you had brought the Sexton in, minute 7, he would have blown that to pieces.
Yeah, he really needed some a Sexton A phase would have helped wonders in gaining ground. You can knock out the pack guns easily, you can stun up the crappy little French tanks, you can knock out the very annoying Feldjägers. Really, the Sexton would have been the ultimate solution to that problem down south, as it could just deal with all the scary Luftwaffe units, which are all soft targets anyway.
Check out the history. From minute 9 to almost minute 15, there is one German unit that goes down. But then, minute 15 to minute almost 19, it's all red. It's massive streaks going on, go back and forth. We see a little bit more iffy back and forth in Phase B and C, but oh my god.
It's a really bloody match. Like tooth and nail back and forth. As you can just see. It's just a lot of trades back and forth constantly. Absolutely constantly, as something dying every minute at least.
And I guess the score doesn't really reflect that, but oh my god. Honestly, I don't want to say this game hung on a knife's edge or razor's edge there, because that's definitely not true.
No. Yeah.
Yes, please.
But no, you just had a good map control.
True. But, I mean, the kills and losses here definitely don't... I don't know. I don't think the final score definitely gives the idea how this worked.
Yeah, at the same time, Strochkies are only 15 points, that's Rupen only 10 points, so they both decks do have that rather big spam capability.
What about the Fallschirmjägers, though?
Yeah, okay, losing Feldjägers is pretty big.
One ME-109 was a instant ace.
Oh,
4
wow.
Hurricanes and a Mustang.
That's some Battle of Britain stuff, right? Yeah. That's pretty good. Look
But
out.
you're going into the Deutsche Den, if you know what I mean.
I know that's some. That's a good one.
Thank
That's
you.
a good Messerschmitt right. Yeah, getting some damn good kills, and considering, yeah, it's yeah,
He takes
Robert
what?
had a
That's
good AA net as well.
900 points. But
Yeah,
no, not 900. About 700
yeah,
points by himself. 600, 700 points.
yeah. And I know looking at everything else in terms of losses, I mean, not really any crazy units. Even the Feldjägers don't really get that much, to be entirely honest. Even in the B3, like knocks out Firefly and like three, like light vehicles. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same for the poles. I mean, we got like a few units that get some decent amount of kills, but most of the time, well, the Firefly meant to knock out like a mortar and a stag, but there's
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah,
each had like one guy who
hmm
accounted for like
yeah.
20% of the enemy's losses.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fluff with all like his Ursat Shrupen and Strotsky's really padding out. I think some of the kills for some of these units. Even then, it's still pretty even Stevens. I mean, it's only like what 200, 300 kill difference, 320 point kill difference, which is very close for 1v1.
True. I do want to make one final comment. I mean, if you look at it, the Fallschirmjägers, if they were able to get more effective, more bang for their buck, to use your term, I mean, this is a completely different game.
Yeah, it was a bit of a problem with the Fouchakers as they just couldn't get into. They're really just outnumbered, I'd have to say, and Fouchakers do work more effectively in open engagements. Even just like two Streltsy squads at 100 meters can somewhat effectively deal with the Fouchakers. Also with the off map and the amount of tanks, yeah, Robert is getting, it's kind of hard to use those Fouchagers effectively.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
That definitely sounds about right. That's gonna do it for me. How about you? Any last comments there?
No, that's me done.
Sounds good, folks. Thank you so much for coming with us through that
Meat grind.
rather red game.
Yeah,
And I'm not talking about the Germans or communists in that one. That was a very bloody game,
that was bloody as hell.
and yet fun at the same time. So
Yeah,
congratulations, H.Robbert, Comrade Ivan, back to the Siberian front with you. And I think for me anyway, I hope I don't speak for you as well. I think that's going to be it for us today. So
yeah,
this has
fine,
been
good.
Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.